Yeah. You are able to see me?
Yes, I can see you. I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for scheduling this call. And I
Okay.
guess this is regarding the PhD thing that you are pursuing.
Not PhD, but NLP Masters that I'm doing.
NLP Masters. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing.
And in that, there is a concept of behavior modeling where I have to choose in the ability to speak with clarity of thoughts, composure,
Hmm.
and confident flow of words. So that's where I think you are one of the best person
Thank you.
to model with.
Thank you,
And
Shivani ji.
and
Thank you.
that's where I will be asking you certain questions. And let me know how much time you can devote.
I guess the
45 minutes
meeting.
to 1 hour is
Uh,
okay?
uh, I guess that was the original idea behind conducting the meeting. I think 45 minutes to one
R-
hour is what you said. Well,
Right.
I'm prepared for that, and
Okay.
congratulations on the good work that you're doing, changing thousands of lives,
Thank
impacting
you.
hundreds of lives every Saturday. Put together, accumulated, I think the number should be probably in several thousands, and you're doing a fantastic job. Not with just with a
Thank you,
single
sir.
community, but with multiple communities and sub communities as well.
Right.
So
Thank you,
that
sir.
is something amazing. Yes, Shivani ji, please go ahead. I'm all ears, and
So,
yep,
yeah. So, shall I begin with the questions? Are you ready?
please, please.
Okay. So, regarding this ability to speak with clarity of thoughts, composure, and confident flow of words, what are your views? Do you think you possess this ability?
The reason why they say this is a communication skill and not communication trait or communication gift or a blessing that we have acquired is because this is a learnable skill. Anything which is learnable is called as a skill. So that is why you
Right.
say communication skill. The good news is that you are not born with it, unlike memory. Memory is a skill that you're born with. You might be surprised to know that. That is why what happened
Correct.
is when we were an infant, when the mother comes to pick the child smiles. Whereas when the nurse comes, the child cries. So what happens is at that tender age, you register the face of the mother or people at home. So memory is something that we are born with. Suppose if dad is extremely good at maths, chances are very bright that the child also is good with numbers. If the dad has got the dad's brain is technically oriented or the mother's brain is artistic in nature, the chances are very bright that the child also will have those qualities. The good news is communication skill is not like that. Communication skill is
Right.
something that you can acquire because you're not born with. I have seen cases where the father is extremely good at communication and the son cannot gather two sentences together because it's not passed on.
Right.
So it's a
Right.
learnable skill. Anything that is learnable is a skill. The good news here is number one, there are two rules. Number one, all skills are learnable. That's a fantastic distinction. All skills are learnable, be it any skill. Number two, you're only one skill away from doubling the income that you're making right now. One more skill, and your income often takes a leap or takes a jump. It's a very interesting question. Amongst all the skills, the most
Right.
valuable skill, which is it's not value that the world today responds. What the world today responds is perceived value. The highest perceived skill in this world is communication. At the bottom of every great success is someone who has mastered the art of speaking well, and communication is a skill that changes overnight. And the answer to this question
Absolutely.
is I've learned it the hard way. And what do you think is the hard way? There are three things that change your life as far as communication is concerned. The first and foremost is association. That's why they say Sangat se hoti hai rangat.
Right.
Who are you associated with? Who is around you? So, three questions to ask ourselves when it comes to communication. Number one, who is around me or who am I around? Number two, what are these associations doing to me? What are they making out of me? Most people are a product of their environment. If the environment demands that they always speak in the local tongue, or the native tongue, and they hardly speak in English or Hindi or whichever language you want to master, it becomes extremely difficult because you don't have a platform around you or an option to exercise that skill. Like, for example, I've been for 3 decades at Bangalore. People ask me, do you know Kannada? Oh, as good as a Kannadiga, though I'm not a Kannadiga. So your environment influences you a lot. Number one is association. Number two are the beliefs and the words that you speak to yourself. Most often, what happens is I've heard cases where people come and tell me, Rajesh, others are putting me down. I ask him, do you also do that? He says, I also do that very often. So we are holding a mirror to the outside world. Treat me this way because of the words what you're using. The words what you're using is extremely powerful. Most of us use disempowering words like I'm not good enough, or I can never learn that skill, or that'll take a long time. And guess what? God says tathastu, or so be it, and that's exactly what manifests in our life. So use empowering words, especially when it comes to your skills, and disempowering words are to be avoided because it does no good.
Right.
Number three is being grateful. Most of us are not grateful, though we know that gratitude is an exercise that we should practice, but then gratitude is a skill that changes everything. So, three questions. Let me go back to the three questions. Number one, who am I around? Number two, what are these people doing to me, or what are these associations making out of me? Number three, is it acceptable? Most often, if the answer to the first question is no, then the answer to the second and third also is a no. So the first answer should be yes, for the second and third also to turn out to be an yes. So the answer to the question is communication is a very learnable skill. How did you learn it? The hard way. Exposure, belief in myself, and number three is being grateful. GCE, gratitude changes everything. I've heard classes where they say between 3:30 and 4:30 during Brahma Muhurtam, get up and then you do gratitude exercise, and people repeat that for years and they hardly find any result. Now they've also lost the good time. They would have probably slept as well. The reason is because you don't go give gratitude, you give gratitude as you go. You give gratitude in everything, both the good and the bad, both the triumphs and the tribulations, both things
Right.
that are working in your favor and not in your favor. That's why what happens,
Wonderful.
breakdowns teaches you a lot more than breakthroughs do. That's why when you're when you're happy, you listen to the music, but when you're unhappy, you understand the lyrics. That's
Right.
because breakdowns teach you a lot. So communication is a learnable skill. Would you want
Right.
to know what is the fastest way to probably gain mastery over a particular skill like communication?
Absolutely.
The fastest way to probably do that is our books. Because an author's entire lifetime of experience can be sold for a measly 200, 300 bucks.
Right.
And in less than 500 rupees, you can get the distillation and the years of wisdom, and you can drink the fountain of knowledge of what the author's understanding is. So books are a wonderful way. I have seen platforms where they say don't read much books because too many books, the books will get transformed and you will not get transformed. Well, I disagree. Books are a fantastic way to gain mastery over language or skill. Now I know the conscious is right now very active. Subconscious is not suspended, but kind of it is dormant because you are alive and active, and so am I right now. But during meditation, when you are asleep, or when you are sleeping, or when you go through emotional moments, what happens? Subconscious kicks into gear. In fact, in sleep, conscious is suspended, subconscious is 100%. So what happens is, your subconscious programming happens when you read books. Consciously you may not be reading every word, but subconscious picks up everything. When you go through a lot of books, especially good books that really empower you, what happens is all of a sudden you start using new words because there is a mental tongue. You must be knowing this when in a kitchen, when something is hot, you have a tongue to catch that and then pick the vessel.
Right.
That's exactly how we have a mental tongue on this expansive vocabulary or this dictionary which we have in our brain. And when you speak, it it quickly deciphers, picks up, and then it delivers. So books can be a fantastic way. Another way
Right.
is um, another way is forcing yourself to speak in a language. Like, for example, when I wanted to learn the local language Kannada or maybe other languages, and so I speak all four South Indian languages. The way I learned it is because I told the environment around me, do not speak in any other language because this is the language that I want to speak. Interestingly, the right group will not laugh or maybe boo or jeer, or they will not make fun when we try speaking in English. On the other hand, they will encourage us. So
Right.
it's a learnable skill.
Great. you believe it's a learnable skill, and you believe that you possess this skill. You have learned the hard way.
I've learned the hard way, and you never go to get good at it because perfection is a myth. And the world
Okay.
does not relate with somebody who's too perfect, because when something appears too polished or something appears too perfect, it loses its soul. So the best way to speak is to have a conversation. For example, with you, I'm having a conversation and not a caned pitch. When I speak to my
Right.
members, whether the high ticket or mid or low ticket, it's always a conversation. So, are you good at it? I'm getting good at it. Will you
Right.
reach the
Getting
summit?
good.
Will you get reach the summit? And the answer is no. As far as communication is concerned, everyone is scaling a marble mountain. You're climbing a marble mountain. The beauty about this marble mountain is nobody is at the summit. Either people are at the base of the summit, and those who are constantly working on their skills communication, they are somewhere midway in the mountain. And how do you think they are stuck to the marble mountain? Because it's slippery. That is because they constantly refine, tweak, and polish their skills, and no matter how good you think you are, you're still halfway at the mountain. And the moment you stop practicing or you stop exposing that skill or adding value to the outside world, when you stop doing it, you slide from the top of the mountain, the bottom middle of
Right.
the mountain, all the way to the base of the mountain. So
Good
it's a
metaphor.
learnable skill. It's a very learnable
Right.
skill. Are you good at it? I'm getting
Okay.
good at it. Will
Yeah.
you ever get good at it? Well, you can only have few degree of improvement, but then you cannot reach the summit of it. I would
Right.
say don't get people don't get perfect. I always keep telling when somebody when people become too perfect, then God likes perfect people. Then He dials their number.
So
So I think
wonderfully
so we need to
explained.
we need to be very careful
Ah,
about getting too perfect
right.
because perfection is a
Right.
myth. And people don't relate
Right.
with people who are perfect. People relate with people who are imperfect. Because when something is cracked, that means you have gone through a lot in life. Your story is what actually, see, in your mess lies your message.
Right.
So everything is very difficult in the beginning, or hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, but gorgeous at the end. So people, I would want people to find you on the other side of the mountain, but your struggle. See, Joseph Campbell wrote this beautiful book called The Hero's Journey, on how a hero embarks on his journey of to attain salvation, to attain bliss, peace of mind, and step into his power, peace, and purpose. But then he goes through trial by fire. Finally, he, you know, gets the calling. He understands who he is, and then he returns back to the original world. And then your job is to come back to your original world after you have learned all the skills, and then make a world a better place. So, it's a wonderful
Definitely.
gift. we have
Thank
a
you for
we
adding.
have a we have a program which talks about the four levels in which you add value. You can be very good at the job that you do, which is called implementation. You can be very good at your managerial skills. Number 3, you can be very good at communication. Number 4, you can be good at imagination. Imagination and communication, they go hand in hand. I know my answers are long. I'll shorten the answer
Yeah.
as I go further, because I think initially to
Right.
probably set the stage, I'm expanding my
Right.
answers and giving you, but I'll be very short as I probably proceed further.
So yeah. Right.
Yes, Shivani.
So I
Yes.
like to tell me some three specific or recent event incidents that where you manifested this ability.
Well, all the three are not recent. Some of them could date back to 28 years.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
that okay as well?
Yeah, you can.
Three areas or three recent incidents where you manifested the skill. The first one happened in the year 1996 and way back in Bangalore, when somebody was talking to a group full of people, and it was a personal development course. That is the first time I understood that you can make money doing this, or a career doing this. And second thing is, I was so impressed not with the money because I was working back then, but with the kind of impact and influence he was doing. So the shift that happened in me was when I saw somebody transform lives. And so the first major place where I got my mojo or my calling or the reason I was born was when I saw somebody do it. And when then I started doing it, I felt that I can do it as good as him, or close to him. And then, so that was the first shift that happened way back in the year 1996. And the second shift that happened was somewhere in the between 2005 and 2010, when we did a lot of public events. I've addressed about 3 million people using my public events. So when we have large stadiums full of people with 5, 10,000 people, and then you empower everyone at one go, 45 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours of an event. We ran an event called Secrets of Success for years together, 10 Secrets of Success. The secrets kept changing, but the title never changed for the program. So what happened is, when people responded and then people started giving testimonials, it's an assurance. See, I can claim, I can say that I am the best at speaking, or I'm very good at coaching. I'm not talking about me. A coach can say that he is exceptionally good. But the market's validation is very important. If the market does not respond to the tune, and if they say, no, we disagree, well, what I think about me doesn't really matter. See, one
Right.
good thing about being in India is that in India, unlike the UK or European market, you don't need certification to be a trainer. In India, the only certification is public acceptance. Sometimes I've seen people with a lot of certifications, not to probably demean them. They have a lot of degrees and a lot of credentials when it comes to speaking and communication, but once they open their mouth, they tell the world who they are, and the world does not respond to their song. Whereas there are people like Tony Robbins or probably Les Brown, who don't have any formal education, and Les Brown is considered to be the number one motivational speaker in the world, and he has never gone to college, he has never gone to school as well. He dropped out in his third or fourth grade. So the only acceptance in India that you need is public acceptance. So the second thing that changed for me during the year 2005 2010, the last major shift that happened was during the COVID 2020. So I have got two lives, like AD and BC. We have pre-COVID and post-COVID. My heart goes out to all those families who lost their lives and struggled during COVID. But the COVID also made some remarkable changes in the lives of few people, and one of those persons, was me. Well, are you glad about it? Well, never late, but I'm so thankful that whatever we were doing online, we completely transitioned online. So today, almost 99.99% of the workshops, events, everything that I do is all online. That is where I found out the third identity shift, where you're exceptionally you have a calling in this area. You're the chosen one. I am blessed and highly favored, because God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called. So I heard my calling again in 2020, and that is how life took a total turn. So three times, 96, 97, somewhere around 2005, 2010, and the third was in 2020. So I have two yous. I like the way we tell in our program, do you want to meet a you that you have not met yet? There is a you in you that you have not met yet. And that you, for me, is pre-2020 and post-2020. The activation of the version 2.0. The first 1.0 disintegrated. Now I cannot go back and find him because he doesn't exist in time, matter, or space. So three things. Yes, sir, Shivani ji.
Yeah. So, why this skill is so important for you? What do you think?
For me or for anyone else?
For you.
Because everything that I do is based on how I can communicate my vision or translate my vision in the learners. Communication is a skill that changes everything so quickly for you. When you speak, you are like the lamp to the feet of a person, so that you know where he is walking or she is walking. Sometimes what happens is, somebody cannot catch the vision, and once you speak to them with the right usage of words, they say, oh, now I see. It's like, this is the distinction. Like, before they were blind, and after you spoke to them, now they can see. That is the difference that you can bring using the usage of words or mastery of words. Mastery of words is everything. So it's a skill. It is the highest paid skill or paying skill in the world, and it's also the highest perceived skill in the world. I know a lot of people, without naming anyone, because I know it's being transmitted live as well as you are also recording this. I know a lot of people whose qualifications do not match their positions of prominence they hold. but it is their communication skill and the skills of human relation that has furthered them so much in life that they're like they have a passport to the hall of fame. They've opened doors that otherwise could have not been opened at all. You see, technical people can be hired and fired anytime, but relationships and communication skills cannot be hired and fired. It's a skill that changes everything overnight. See, that's why Dale Carnegie spoke beautifully. Dale Carnegie said, "The ability to speak is a shortcut to distinction in your life. It puts a man on the limelight, raises him head and shoulders above the crowd, and a man who can speak acceptingly well is often given all the credit as opposed to his own internal worth." Means what? Our internal worth may not match the job or profile what I'm doing, but because communication skill is there, the world perceives you as a highly gifted, talented, or a very powerful individual. So it's a skill that all of us need to develop. But intention is everything. Interest is everything. You will have to throw your heart into the cause of public speaking, like what George Bernard Shaw did. You know, George Bernard Shaw, one of the most powerful speakers on the planet, was a very timid speaker. He could not speak. He was so shy. Even before knocking his friend's door, he used to walk on the embankment or the porch of the house several times before mustering courage or gathering courage just to knock at the door. But the same man, you know what he did? He transformed his weakest point into his strongest asset. So he joined a debating club. He threw his heart into the cause of socialism, and by going out and speaking out for that cause, George Bernard Shaw, he transformed himself to be one of the greatest speakers of the 21st century. It's a skill that anyone can learn. I often tell Shivani ji, if I can speak and if I can be a speaker, anybody in this world can be a speaker. It's the most learnable skill.
Right.
That means
Thank
every
you, sir,
penny
for
what I
the
make, every transformation that I do, every help that I do to my audience, every value that I create is a outcome of the communication. The mastery of words, the
right,
right usage of words, the gravity, the nuances, the highs and the lows and the syllables, and that's why
right,
the beauty is that's why they say shub shub bolo, ashub mat bolo. You know why? Because whenever you
right,
speak, whenever you spell, you cast a spell. That is why it is called spelling.
right, right, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Please.
You talked about transforming your vision. So, what is so important about your vision? Can you throw some light on that?
Well, there is a date of birth, and then there is a date where you understand why you were born. For me, that happened somewhere around 96, 97, around early 2000, when you realize that this is why you were born. Napoleon Hill wrote this beautiful book called Think and Grow Rich, a book that took more than 20 years and time to write. And one of those chapters in the book is why men seldom succeed before 40. Men often succeed often after the age of 40. Let me not go into the details on why men don't
Yeah,
succeed before 40, but something radically shifts in a man after the age of 40 or 50, if at all it happens. Some people find their calling after 50, some around between 40s and 50s. For me, that shift took place. You understand why you were born. I was back then in the IT industry. Didn't like my job. I used to go to my job as though I'm going to my funeral that particular day. I used to go to my job as though I'm going to be hanged in that particular job that particular day. I'm not saying this to probably put down a job. I was working, but that was not my calling. I had three bosses and I didn't really like any of them, working for any of them. You want to be your own boss. Nobody should sign your paycheck. See, what happens in a job, I'm not putting down a job, but you're being paid what your job's worth. But you want to be paid what you are worth, and you are infinitesimally worth than the job. So if you really want to know who you are, want to sign your own paycheck, be your own boss, I think doing something of your own is risky. But what is not risky? To be alive is risky. To raise children is risky. To get married is risky. To get a job is risky. So,
right,
like they say, the only risk is not taking any risk at all. So
right,
I plunged full stream into this way back in 97, October 97. Do you regret that decision? No. I regret not doing it more often. I have done enough, but I still, there is a small little regret that you could have done much more. Now, what are you doing about it? You're now I'm accelerating my results using this thing called leverage. Communication skills gives you leverage. Archimedes said, "Give me a lever long enough, and I'll move the world." So, communication is a skill that acts as a leverage. You can have exponential growth. See, when the right message falls on the right ears, what happens is transformation occurs. You never know whom you are influencing. That's the beauty about communication, especially on the social media. You never know who's listening and whose life is getting transformed. And
Right.
10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, they meet you at an occasion somewhere and they say, "Ma'am, you transformed my life." 10 minutes what you spoke, that altered everything that I did. Like, for example, just to probably give you a small example in 20 seconds. 97, when I attended the gentleman's program in Bangalore, I quit my job the next day. I put my papers down. My family was disappointed I did that, but I knew what I was doing, because sometimes, um, God sometimes pushes you, sometimes God nudges you, sometimes God shows you. For me, it was like a showing moment. Like, "Rajesh, this is who you are. This is what you were born for." And what happens is, like a lightning bolt, the earth is moved beneath your feet. And that happened in 96, 97.
Great. Can you name what whose event was that?
That was a man by name Dr. Bharat Chandra.
Okay.
I'm not sure
So,
if he's doing it now, but he was a medical doctor, and I'm not sure
okay.
he's doing it now. But then he was the one who started the whole thing.
Right. So my
And then
next
I went on,
question.
yeah. Then I went on to being a Lion and Rotary member, and then I was a JC
Okay.
Bangalore Junior Chamber, and then I went to Toastmasters LA 24, which is the Garden City. LA 24 is one of the oldest branches
Right.
of Toastmasters, and then the Round Table, and then the Rotary, and then many other organizations. And then I started my own club, which was called as the Leaders Club. We ran this Leaders Club for 20 years. Then it was not viable to do it offline anymore, and then we wound up that. So we ran a
Okay.
digest called as the Leaders Digest. So
Yeah,
my
I have
company was,
heard about it.
yeah, my
Even I
company
have,
was,
I think I have read in my childhood.
yeah. And my earlier organization's name was called as the Lead Institute.
Okay, you talked about Leaders Digest. The one I read was Reader's Digest for Leaders.
Nice. Yeah.
Right.
And it was called as the Lead Institute, and that is how we ran for 20 years. Now it is renamed as Rajesh Murthy Training Systems LLP, because
Right.
the company's name should also reflect your name. So that's why we made these changes. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, wonderful. So my next question is, when you use or demonstrate this ability, what do you see on the outside, see, feel, or hear? What are your external behavior?
In response to the audience.
When you demonstrate the ability of communication skills, speaking well with confidence. So in that case, what are your external behaviors?
Still, I'm trying to understand the question. My external behavior as compared to me, as
How
opposed to.
you feel while
Oh,
speaking?
amazing,
Uh,
amazing. Okay. No.
Amazing.
I thought I should be probably answering this question in from the participants or from the listeners' point of
No,
view.
no,
From my Beautiful.
your
That's a
own
great question. That's a great
behavior.
question, actually. People who
Yeah,
have goals don't change their lives, because goals really don't change anything. People say, "I have a goal to become a great communicator or a good communicator, etc." People with obsession, these are the ones who change their world. An obsessed person is someone who cannot do without it. See, an amateur plays an instrument, for example, a musical instrument. An amateur plays an instrument until he can play it right. An expert plays the same instrument until he cannot get it wrong or play it wrong. So, obsessed people are the ones who go out and change the world. I have an obsession in this area. People say, "Rajesh, I've been speaking the whole day, so I'm exhausted or I'm tired." My case is exactly the opposite. If I don't speak, I get exhausted and tired. I become breathless if I don't speak on a particular day. Like a musician said, "If I don't play for one day or practice for a day, I know that I've not practiced yesterday. But 2 days in a row I don't practice, my team, the music team behind me, the orchestra, they know that I'm not really good, or I've lost my mojo. 3 days in a row I don't practice, the audience also knows that I've not done it or I've not practiced. So
Right.
this is something, it has to be an ongoing basis. Okay, this might be a little strange and also unbelievable. In 24 hours of the day, I speak for about 14 hours a day. That is, except for 10 hours a day, the rest of the day, I keep speaking, keep consulting, keep coaching, doing that because that is what keeps me alive. So, for me to stay alive like the fish in the water, I have to speak. So, if you ask me, what is the internal feeling? Liberating. And not only just liberating, reconnection with my soul, the very reason for which I was born. So, I cannot do without speaking. The
Great.
purpose of learning is not to be good at it. The purpose of learning is mastery. And mastery is nothing but effortless execution of something without even thinking about it. So most of my private one-to-one coaching sessions or groups coaching sessions happen throughout the day from morning to evening. The day starts at 7, the circus ends at somewhere around 11 or 12 in the night. So 12 to 14 hours, minimum on the lower side, 12 to 14 hours I have to speak. In fact, I'm just coming from a session to this session,
Wonderful.
and post your session I have another session. So this drama
Great.
never ends, but it keeps you alive because
Right.
this is what you are supposed to do in life.
Right.
See, I want to be like Dr. Abdul Kalam. Dr. Abdul Kalam held many hats. He wore many hats,
Right.
as a scientist and then as a president of our country. But no other president in our Indian presidency ship has ever commanded respect as much as Dr. Abdul Kalam commanded. The best thing about Dr.
Right.
Abdul Kalam is the day he died, the nation stood still.
Right.
You know why? That was the reverence they paid to this remarkable human being who did not live his life. His life was an exemplary example of how a man should live his life. You know how he died? I'm sure you must be knowing.
Yeah.
He died speaking.
Right.
Out of the multiple things that Dr. Abdul Kalam did, the best thing that he liked was teaching, and
Right.
he died teaching. He was
Right.
addressing a group of students and he collapsed.
Right.
So when your calling or your obsession is that every man's end should come, every person's end should come doing the best thing that you love, and to be completely used for a purpose which is beyond you or greater than you. You will plant seeds
That's it.
and trees under whose shade you will never sit, whose fruits you will never need. But you will be a beneficiary because everything as a value creator or as a speaker, your life is outward and your life is not inward, because money is just a part of influence and impact.
Right.
So how do
Thank
you
you for
feel?
it.
Liberating. It helps
Okay.
me, it helps me heal the hurts of my past.
Hmm.
That's how I would probably put this. So I see that I'm a human being saved by grace whenever I speak.
So, what are your beliefs around this quality?
Everyone can develop it provided they have an obsession towards it. And it is not just wanting it, but a very deep want, an obsession that is just you cannot do without it.
Right.
So when you are totally obsessed by it, when you are consumed by it, anyone can gain mastery over this. But the fundamentals need to be strong. So the fundamentals, in the sense, the if the language mastery over the language, the basics are good, then you can do it, and anybody can do it. I know a lot of people who are very good at the skill, but then all that is required is practice, the talent to
Practice.
practice. People say I'm a good
Yes.
speaker. People say I'm a good speaker. Some of the world's best speakers who are paid somewhere around close to $1 million for about half an hour, 100K for about or quarter of $1 million, which is 250K for a half an hour speech. These people regularly practice. So if the best speakers in the world require practice and they repeatedly have a talent to practice, if somebody else is probably telling me that I'm a good speaker and I can just speak impromptu or just straight away spontaneous, you will probably, what you do will not ring a bell. And not practicing and not really giving enough time in preparation, that is also an insult to the audience. That means if I'm not putting in the work that is required to be a stellar speaker so that I can add value, that is also a kind of disrespect to the audience, isn't it? Because if I love my audience, I'll put all the effort in my work because my work is godly. What you do should be sanctum sanctorum. What you do should be holy. Bruce Lee said, I'm not scared of that man who has mastered 10,000 different kicks, but I'm so scared of that one man who has mastered one kick 10,000 times. So you want to be so good at it. You want to be the Pied Piper of Hamelin, and you want to, you want a red carpet to be laid wherever you go. And that can happen when you don't stop at being good. Good is the enemy of great. You don't want to be good. You don't want to be great. You want to be exceptionally great. Okay, that's a great question. Can I answer this question in a slightly different way? There are 4 levels of mastery that all of us should attain in communication skills. Number 1 is people say, I'm good at communication skills. But the problem with being good is everyone says, I'm also good. So good is a very confusing, misleading term. After being good, some people say, I'm an expert in communication. Now, the problem with being an expert is there are many experts, and everyone says, I am also an expert like him, only better. The third level is you become an authority or an advisor when you open your mouth. So what happens is people sit at your feet and listen. Every word that you speak are like, golden nuggets, like pearls. And when you speak, pearls fall down and the audience collect it. That's the third level. The fourth level is where the game changes. Very few people attain this level, which is called as the sage. Now you're not just, you're not respected now. Now you are revered.
Right.
Anything that you say is now taken at the face value. People nod their head to everything that you say because now they like you, they respect you, and they also admire you. So these 3 things happen in the final levels. The audience likes you. They like you because you are authentic, because your narration always comes straight forth, and you don't tell them what they like to hear, you tell them what they need to hear. You're so authentic. So they like you. They respect you because you have the fruit on the tree. Number 3, they also admire you for the person that you have become because your audio is in sync with your video. Means who you are trying to be on the outside is also on the inside. So it's a skill that changes everything. The highest perceived. At the bottom of every great success is someone who has mastered the art of speaking well. And anyone can do it. The beauty is anyone can do it.
Thank you. So I would like to ask next is, what is the most important to you in this ability? Most important thing.
Not quitting.
Not quitting.
Not quitting. No matter what happens, no matter what curveballs life actually throws along your way, you're not quitting.
Okay.
Well, I know it's getting live stream, so I cannot go deep into what challenges
It is like unlisted one only.
Yep.
Public.
Yeah. So I probably will not go deep into this, but
Right.
I've lost a lot and have gone through a lot of down times and also a lot of tribulations and trials. But the thing is, and when people outside, they come and tell you, Rajesh, why don't you do something else in life? See, during the good times, nobody advises you. During the bad times, everyone thinks they have a right to advise you now because suddenly they get the tag called advisor and they come and with good intentions, good people who are close to us. But then you never quit because you know this is what you were born for. Let's say Tendulkar lost his form in between. It happened. So if you probably come to Tendulkar and say, why don't you become an accountant there? Or why don't you start playing hockey instead because you lost your form? He would say, I would rather, give up on my life because I was born only for cricket. Same thing with Matt Biondi or probably with, Usain Bolt or anybody or Michael Phillips. They were born for that reason. It's like asking Ronaldo to do something else. Go out and sell real estate probably in, your area. So you were born for this particular thing. So the answer to this question would be never quit. How long? And the answer is until, period. Winston
Wonderful.
Churchill was asked to address the
Hmm.
audience, and the audience were all cold and shivering, and there was a huge number of people, and they were waiting for their leader to come and give a spellbound speech which will knock them off their chairs, sweep them off the carpet without any prior warning, and they were all waiting with bated breath as to what Winston Churchill is going to say. And he came on the dais and he said, "Never give up." And the audience said, "Okay, next, what is coming up?" And then he said, "Never give up," for the second time. And then he said, "Never give up." And then he went because there was nothing else to say. And the
Wonderful.
audience erupted and roared in motivation and roared in, they were fired up because there was nothing else to say. As long as you don't give up, there is hope. Do you know hopelessness is a lie? It's a lie that we sell to ourselves. So the answer to this question is never give up. If you can burn your bridges, a lot of people, what they do, they try to do it part time. Let me try if it works. If it doesn't work, I'll always have a back door open. But when you burn your bridges and when everything is on sale and you cannot go back to your original form, now you have no other option but to succeed. Like those ancient kings, they used to send their small little army across the wooden bridge because those days kingdoms were in islands with one way passage, and the moment the ships arrive and the enemy goes into it, now the captain used to burn the bridges. Now the small little army has got only two options: either get killed or go to kill. And every time they used to win because there was no going back. Have you burnt your bridges? Is what I would ask anybody who wants to probably work on their communication skills or become a speaker or become a coach or really want to influence or have, create an impact. But communication
Wonderful.
skills is like a niche. A niche means 1 inch wide and 1 mile deep, not the other way around. If you spread yourself too thin, then you disappear. You want to gain mastery in one single area of your life.
Great. So, what motivates you to keep going?
My people, the love for my people, the love for the audience that I have, and it is them who are my teachers. All my learning over these 28 years of time, this is my 28th year, everything that has come that I know has come from my audience. And when somebody places their trust in you and they say, you know, be my savior, you are like the Noah, and what you do is the Noah's ark. Now, when somebody places their trust, reputation is something on which this industry survives or thrives. So, whenever I climb the dais, it's a great question. Whenever I am on the dais, the first thing that I say subconsciously, even before and when I am on the dais, is I love you all. I may not orally tell that, I may not give out an expression that I love you all or like you, but in my heart I say, I love this audience. This audience has come to cheer me. This audience are like life enrichers. They are like cheerleaders. So I need to contribute. I need to make sure that it is their money's worth. But much more important than that, I have a bigger mission. I have to make sure that it is their time's worth, because time is invaluably more valuable than money. So your love for the audience and zero expectations. So when you go without an expectation of anything, what happens is, what you do comes shining through.
Great.
It's always better to give than it is to receive, because giving starts the receiving process. When you give, you will always receive. May not be in the same manner in which you gave, but in some unknown, mysterious ways, it is always going to come back to you, because there is more joy in giving than it is in receiving. As a speaker, you are the biggest giver. As a communicator, you are the biggest giver. See, the world belongs to two kinds of people: takers and givers. Takers eat well, but givers sleep well, and that makes all the difference.
Wonderful. So, what are your primary strategies, some rituals, or how you prepare, or when you go for a keynote or any public speaking event, or maybe taking a session online? So, what are your just go to do things, some strategies, or how you prepare?
Okay, I see this as two questions. Number one is, what do you do to prepare? And the earlier question was, what strategies do you use to bring about a change or a metamorphosis in people? So I would answer the second one first. A lot of times, what happens is the people I've seen people, they don't speak to the audience; they speak on them, or they speak over them. And the way they speak is, listen, here is what I want to tell you, and this is how you probably change your life. And what happens is you get into an advisory mode, and then there is a straightaway reluctance, or they subconsciously reject the advices or the instructions you give, because nobody likes to be told. It's like sales. Nobody likes to be sold, but everyone likes to buy, isn't it? When they see an advisor, they run behind him. When they see a seller, they run away from him. The scent of a seller, that's what they say in sales. It's very easy to spot a seller. Same way, it's very easy to spot a communicator who is like a parent, or like a helicopter parent kind of thing. Like,
Right.
this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, and then you try instructing them, and that doesn't really sit well. So the best thing is you have a conversation with them, and don't try to push their hot button, which is a thing that almost many speakers try doing, which is, let me tell you how you change your life, let me tell you this is what you should do probably, and then you do this, and then you change. What happens is you push your own hot buttons, means your own hot buttons, that is your own before and after story, or at the most you can give a reference of somebody else. So now what happens is people relate because it's your own story, your before and after. See, before I was like this, and then one fine day this happened, and then this is what happened. The best thing I like about what happened to me in my life is this. And I didn't fall into this directly. I tried everything under the sun, and nothing really seemed to make a difference. And finally, I got it. Today, the best thing I like about this buddy, this is the story that they like. The 5 piece element I just spoke about. Before, after, the favorite fix, and then the things that you tried and what you discovered now. So what happens is, people really like to relate with a person. That is why it's a great question actually you asked me. Do not speak to inform. Sorry, do not speak to impress. Speak to inform. Don't try to impress them, but try to inform. But then as you age in the speaking world, very soon, don't speak to them to educate. A lot of us try to educate them. Speak to them so that you can relate with them. People like people who relate with them.
Right.
So, how do you then construct your speech, you may ask? I split my speech into three things. Number one, need to know. Number two, nice to know. And number three, discover later. So you don't tell them
Okay.
everything. You just tell them the need to know, what they need to do, what they need to know to make a change. And one more thing is, the way in which we speak is not information. A lot of people say, I need to dump a lot of information so that the more information I give, they change their lives. What our people need is not information. What they need is transformation, which is they come one way and they leave the other, completely transformed, because the room should rewire them to the new you.
Right.
So need to know, nice to know, and discover later. Discover later and nice to know is not required at all. They let them find it out for themselves. So that's a great question again. I would change this into another three parts, which is do it yourself, done with you, and done for you. The done for
Right.
you and do it, the done for you and you know, the do it with you, which is also called as the over the shoulder coaching, can be done later. The do it yourself is what makes them stand out. Like
Right.
Napoleon Hill said, it takes more than 80% of a human being's life to understand that life is a do it yourself project. So the more you ask them to engage, the more you ask them to participate and do it, now the takeaway is enormous. Like way back in Bangalore, I had a mentor of mine. I go to him for a 1 hour counseling, and then what happened is I took counseling from him, amazing human being. 58 minutes I would talk, and 2 minutes he would speak. And in those 2 minutes, he would ask questions. And I used to come out and say, what a great man. He spoke wonderfully. But I did all the talking, not him. So, what strategy do you use? The this is something that is actually the need of the hour, which is called identity rewiring. So three things that we work on: number one, transformation; number two is speed; Because fast action takers are money makers. The universe loves speed. Whatever has to happen quickly.
Right.
Like Elon Musk asks, he asks himself this question: if something takes 6 years, his question is, how can I accomplish the same in 6 months? Now, when you try accomplishing something that normally takes 6 years in 6 months, you're going to fail, but you're going to fail forward, and you're going to fail much ahead of somebody who probably thought it'll take 6 years and did not even move a muscle. So, number one, transformation. There is a you in you that you have not met yet. Number two is speed, and number three is a brand new identity. You cannot be who you are and who you want to be both at the same time. One version of yours has to disintegrate.
Right.
So, if you were to probably pinpoint one major, major reason why people don't really work on their presentation, communication skills, etc., is because they have not decided. They have not decided
Right.
yet. I would like to also add that word yet. They have not decided yet. Have
Very
you
true.
made that decision that makes all the other decisions for you?
Very true.
What is that big decision you can make in your life so that everything in your life either becomes easy or unnecessary?
Right. So I would thank you for all your answers. They are wonderful inputs. And one instance where this is skill you applied this skill and you failed. Your experience that.
One incident where I have the skill and I failed. I think it happens every time. It happens in every session. At the end of every session, when I come and take a stock of what happened today, I find that there are areas where I could have excelled, where I could have probably said this or did that or did this, and maybe as a Jan born, I'm not always satisfied. So dissatisfaction could be a part of my sun sign as well. But there is always a constant dissatisfaction that, okay, you did this, but then you could have been better. So the day when we feel that I've done outstanding, I just could have not done better than this. This is the greatest show I pulled off. I think that is the day you started sliding backwards. So there is always to something to learn. There is always something you could have, the limits that you could have breached further. So I think this happens every time. Okay, but if you were to probably ask me, where did you fail? I didn't fail as far as delivery is concerned, because you go with preparation. But there are instances twice in my life where I've lost the voice speaking on the stage. Because when you speak for high intensity for 10 to 12 hours a day to a large audience from morning to evening, instances where the voice has turned into a whisper, and it took about 30-40 minutes for me to get back that voice. So I call that as a failure, because the audience came with an expectation that you will do. But in my 28 years, it has happened only twice. So, but then again, a half an hour later, you come back and then you blow the audience off their feet, because that is what you were born for. I still remember that incident in 2004 when I was actually admitted in the hospital in the ICU because I was breathless and couldn't breathe at all because of excessive speaking non-stop for about 12 into 4, 48 hours non-stop. And the last day of the program, and I'm breathless. I thought something is wrong with my heart, and they said, no, you're okay. And then they admitted. And then what happened? I did a forced discharge, went to the program, and then completed my entire day. The mere presence of the audience should act as a stimulus. So I'm like Dr. Abdul Kalam, let me die speaking, but not the other way. So if at all,
What drives you?
what drives me? The love for the audience, and second is
Uh,
knowing who you are. Man, know thyself. That's what, as a man thinketh, is what James Allen wrote, isn't it? So when you know who you are, you just cannot sit anymore. You just cannot not do it.
Wonderful. So, sir, what are
You're,
some of the underlying emotions
what are some of the underlying emotions with respect to?
when you speak or before you go? What are the emotions you carry,
Oh,
or while
great.
you speak?
Oh, great. Wonderful question. There is an emotion of love for the audience. There is an emotion of, a desperation that when will I go meet my audience? But then the biggest emotion that I have to wrestle with every time I go on the stage is fear. The fear of public speaking. Oh, I'm so scared. Every seminar, every session, I'm scared. What are you scared about? You've been speaking all your life. It's not performance anxiety, but there is an unknown fear, not what ifs. What if I cannot deliver, or what if I'm dumbfounded and I don't know what to speak next, etc. The intention of fulfilling and meeting the trust and the expectation of that audience. What have they come for? It's like corporate programs. Very rarely I've seen corporate trainers ask this question. Whenever a corporate asks us, Rajesh, can you come deliver a 2-day program or a 1-day program? My first question is, please hold on, can I ask you a question? And they say, sure. What is the intention of this program? And he says, well, that we will talk later. No, no. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but what is the intention of this program? In other words, what should this program accomplish? Are you trying to fill your training calendar in the talent acquisition team, or maybe the L&D or whatever? You're just trying to show that you did a program. If that is the case, I'm not coming. I'm so sorry. I'm not
Right.
coming, because what is the intention of the program? What should this program accomplish? That means Saturday and Sunday, if we have a program, Monday morning, what should happen to your employees? What behavioral change you expect? What attitudinal change you expect? What performance, profits, and productivity change you expect? If you are clear on that, then we will do the program. And they say, well, nobody has asked this question. I said, I'm not nobody. I asked this question. Can you please answer this question? Well, I need 2 full days to answer this question. I said, take all the time that you have, but come back with
Right.
the intention, because I don't want you to show this. Some of the organizations, where I should not be saying this openly, they also club training programs under CSR. You don't come under the CSR bracket, but they still show under the CSR just because they want to fill the calendar.
Right.
So what drives you? The So what are the emotions you go through? Fear. Not fear of not
So,
being the best,
how
fear
you
of.
overcome it?
How do you overcome it? That's a great question. Expressing that to the audience.
Okay.
That might be a surprise to you, but it might come as a surprise to you. What I do is I just meet the audience and say, I'm so scared. I'm really scared seeing all of you. And the moment I utter that, the fear is gone. You know why? Because I got the cat out of the bag. Now I labeled that obstacle, I took it, cataloged it, and like a curator in an exhibition or a museum, now I've labeled that fear. I look at that fear and the fear melts and disappears.
Great.
I'm so scared. I have to do the best for all of you. I don't even So what happens is, when you express that fear, the fear is gone. Some of the best
So,
performers, be it gymnasts or be it sports people or be it musicians, etc., they have this fear in them, and that fear actually allows you to deliver. People say most
right.
speakers are absolutely fearless. No, I don't really agree. Most of the speakers, in fact, the best speakers are more fear. They are fearful than the ones who are novice or starting out.
Right. So
A
I hope
caned,
you covered
another,
a
yeah,
little,
yeah,
you covered a
caned.
little bit of an, yeah, you please
Yeah,
complete.
a caned pitch actually introduces more fear, because now you are so fearful of forgetting what you have to say next. What is the greatest fear in public speaking? What if I forget what to say next? That comes when you are having a caned pitch, that you have a rehearsed pitch. Yes, it always helps to have a 3 by 5 cue card in your hand, and you look at it and then probably collect your ideas and talk to the audience. But the audience hate to see a speaker going through notes. That's why when you have a podium and you put all those bulky notes on the podium, and the moment they see you arriving, now they know that this program is called sleep management, and they go to sleep.
Right.
The audience cannot bear a person going through notes. So,
Right.
and when you don't have, see, the best thing is expose the body completely to the audience and always stand at the edge of the stage. I have this habit of hanging on the edge of the stage. Half of them are worried whether I'll fall down from the stage or not, and then you are almost at the edge of the stage. Sometimes what happens is you get down and then you pat the audience and then you go amongst them and then you talk and then you come and then you literally, that's like the football or soccer field for you. You play around that particular field. That's because you are committed to a cause, and the cause is adding value. The market does not respond to anything but perceived value. If they perceive that you are genuine and you genuinely add value, they will buy whatever you say which appeals to
Right.
them.
Right. I hope you have covered, like I wanted to ask, sustaining emotion, any background emotion that helps you perform better with this ability? And for
The
fear, you have already answered.
background emotion is love.
Love.
The one that is acting as a sustenance or a support network for me is the love. The love I have for my audience. Every time, be it one person or be it 10,000 people, the love that I have for them. They've come to listen to me, and it is my undying commitment to make sure that it serves their time and the money that they've invested. But money always secondary, because you cannot buy transformation with money. So you can only buy
Right.
transformation with intention, good effort, and invested energy. So
Can we
the,
go 5 more minutes, or you have another
yeah, you
session?
can. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. So, what are some of the contributing factors or your environment that supports you in enhancing this ability while performing? Or even if they are not there, it doesn't matters. But if they are there, it enhances your ability.
Oh, great question. I mean, amazing. I don't know where to start from. I would first start with my spouse, my understanding spouse, and my children, who have given me the bandwidth to be who I am, whatever I can be. And they don't see what I do as an interference in their life, but they, like when Lord Krishna was taken through the Yamuna parted ways. So they part ways, and then they clear the path for all future obstacles that are in the way. So their understanding, and second is the blessings of my father and mother. Nothing can come close to it, because uh, you know you and I, both of us, have not seen God. The only God that we know are our parents, isn't it? We are not seeing God in real form.
Right.
So it is them, and the audience, all these audience over these years. So all these are the factors that allow us to perform at the highest level, and the blessings of the Lord God. That's why they say if you put God first, you will never come second in life. All the glory goes to Him. See, when you do what is humanly possible, God
Right.
does what is humanly impossible. And at the
Right.
point of time where you cannot cross alone, you feel the presence of the Creator like never before. And God will exactly meet you at the point in life where you cannot cross alone. Because God's ways of working are very strange. He will he will make sure that you tide over, because your intention is truthful. You're genuine. And when the intention is genuine, blessings come. May not be now, but eventually they will come. So you don't succeed at your time, you succeed at God's time. But the question is, are you doing the work that is consistently required to do that? Sometimes it takes 25, 30 years, in my case, for the world to know that we've been doing this. But yes, my little world knows that. My little world could be in several thousands, about 3 million, but this is not the end. Rajesh, how far you have come in your life? I've just began. So when you look at Earl Nightingale or Jim Rohn or people like Dr. Dennis Waitley, who have been there for about 50, 60 years of their time they have spent in this, we feel that we have not even began. We have not even started. So there are stalwarts and legends in this industry.
Right. So, thank you for all the inputs. And last one,
You can,
that
please.
if I have to imbibe this ability in me, what will be your advice?
When you say with this ability, which is the ability, madam?
Ability of speaking with clarity of thoughts, conviction, and um, flow of words, confident flow of words.
Okay, okay, okay. One is an undying commitment to never quit trying. What happens is, after about 2 to 3 days or 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes in 2 to 3 months or 2 years, people turn off their efforts because they don't see results. It's like going to the gym and saying, I did 3 push ups, and push ups don't work. Nothing happened. So you never quit. I have people around me who come and tell me, Rajesh, 28 years and still going strong. Are you still in the same profession? I said, yes. What else will I do? Same profession for about 27, 28 years. They are so surprised. They expect me to change every 2 to 3 years, like the way we change shirts. They expect me to change what I do. It's like so an undying commitment to this particular field, because it's an ocean. And when you go to an ocean, Do not take a spoon and go, because then the kids will laugh at you and I. The best is to at least take a bucket, or still better, a tanker. And I want you to explore the depths of this field called communication. The deeper you go, the more you take, you will find that there is more abundance. Like Upanishads say, he took abundance from abundance, and still there was a lot of abundance left behind. So the only thing that is there in this particular field of communication is you can never get good at it. So, but if you are better than the rest of the world, 97% of them, they will accept you as their tutor or their mentor or a guide or an advisor. So the answer to their question would be, never give up on this field. And number two is, associate yourself with people who are going where you want to go. See, some people in life are going where you want to go. Some people were going before where you want to go, but they are not going anymore on that path. The third category is, some people are not going where you want to go. Most of the time we spend our time with category 2 and 3 because we are so scared about the ones that are going the way we want to go. So here are beautiful 6 questions. It's a great question that you actually asked me. Okay, so first question is, Rajesh or Shivani ji, what are you doing when it comes to this when it comes to this profession? What am I doing? Number 2, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? Third question, whatever you're doing, do you think that is the fastest way to get the result what you want? Number 4, who do you know in this field that is crushing it or has the fruit on the tree? Question number 5, what are they doing that you are not doing? Question number 6, what are you doing that they are not doing? So you take stock of it, you do a self-audit, like the way a chartered accountant would do, which you are. So 6 questions. 6 questions that can transform everything that you do. Would you want me to repeat those questions? Question number 1, what are you doing if at all you feel like quitting? Number 2, reminding yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? Because this is your calling, because this is what you are destined to do. Number 3, do you think whatever you're doing is the fastest way to get the result? At the surface level, it might appear correct, but then there are others who are doing it better. So what are they doing? If this is not the fastest method to get the results, what is the other method where I can leverage, where I can have a compounding effect? So question number 3 was, whatever you're doing, is that the best way to get the results? If not, change, tweak. Do not change the path. Do not quit, but change your approach. Number 4, who do you know in this particular field of communication, presentation? They are remarkably good at it, and they have the fruit on the tree. In the sense, they have the revenue, the results, the love of the audience, and a fan following. Number 4, what are they doing that you are not doing? Number 6, what are you doing that they are not doing? So I'll stop what I'm doing, which they are not doing, because I want to emulate them, I want to duplicate them, I want to clone them, not their message, but their behavior, and I want to be as good as them, if not better. So
Yeah, thank you. These 6 questions are definitely eye-opening, and the whole interview definitely gave me a lot of inputs. Actually, I have interviewed 4 such speakers, and will be creating a model based on all the inputs, combining all the what are the generic things, commonalities, and what are the specific idiosyncrasies between people. So and the speakers. So all these will help me to develop this ability within me. Thank you for all your inputs and time. Thank you so
thank you
much.
very much. In fact, since you are doing your NLP masters, this is something which will be an add-on to it. There are 2 rules in NLP that are extremely powerful. And when it comes to communication and presentation, you can very well use them. If you want to be successful, rule number 1 in NLP, simply copy someone who is already successful. Just
Right.
copy someone who is already successful, because he doesn't have a model to emulate, but he or she doesn't have a model to copy, but you have a model to copy. So if you want to be a
Right.
good cricketer, copy somebody who is already very good at the game of cricket. Or probably if you want to be a good management student, somebody who is already into management. So number 1 would be, simply copy somebody who is successful, and you will also be successful as much as they are. Because they don't have anyone to copy, but you have one. So you think like him or her, you talk like him, breathe like him, eat like him, sleep like him or her, and very soon you will be that particular person. Rule number 2 is very powerful and scary. It says if you copy somebody very successfully, chances are very bright that most often the copy becomes better than the original itself. So if you copy somebody who is successful, that's exactly what I did. I copied the behaviors, the attitude, the traits, not the message, but the person that they are, all the good qualities. And I had a supermarket approach. If I found something bad, I left it on the shelf. I didn't take those
Right.
qualities because nobody is perfect, isn't it? So,
Right.
rule number one, copy someone who is successful. Number two, if you copy somebody successfully, perfectly, 100%, chances are very bright that you will be better than the copy. So it's so powerful, and communication is a wonderful skill because the world loves anyone who can speak well or communicate well. The most
Clearly.
important question in communication is my communication landing on the other side or not? It's a skill that opens everything. Like Dale Carnegie said, a shortcut to distinction in your life. So I really wish you the very best, Shivani ji, for
Yeah.
your masters in NLP, and for the remarkable work that you're doing with your clientele, with both people who know you closely and the unknown ones also who come and are touched by the grace of what you do, because they probably will have a revolving audience who don't even know you, but they might be a part of some of your virtual events and they still get benefited. And you call various speakers and then on the platform, and you're doing a remarkable job, not today or yesterday, for several years in a row right now. And that kind of commitment is something which is unheard of. Every Saturday at 7 a.m. is not easy, I know. And you start on time
Thank you, sir.
exactly like me. 28 years, not a single program of mine has started 1 minute late. And I see that you are also somebody like that. You start
I
on time.
admire your work.
Yeah, something remarkable you're doing. And I wish you all the very best, ma'am. Thank you so much, Shivanichi.
Thank
I
you.
think
Thank
that's
you.
the end of the interview.
You,
Anything
yes,
else? Okay.
uh,
So,
you have an exceptional oratory skill, and that's the reason I chose you as an example.
thank you. We
Thank
are
you
all
so
learning.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
these are very powerful inputs and definitely going to help me.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, madam.